Namaste. Namaste, everyone. I hope this finds you well and happy and healthy and strong and ready to start a new day, completely new day. So just sitting with yourself for just a moment, letting your eyes close or take a soft gaze. Without changing it, beginning to notice the breath, the rise and the fall of the belly or the chest. Just breathing, gently breathing. Letting your belly get a little bit more involved. Exhaling and pushing the breath out with the abdominal muscles. Then releasing the abdominal muscles and letting the breath come in. Just a few smooth, soft belly breaths. And then on your next inhale, drawing your hands into the heart, Anjali Mudra. Noticing what's in your mind, what comes to your mind at this moment. Acknowledging it. And then finding an intention for your practice. A sankalpa. And once you've found that intention, repeating it to yourself 3 times. And then I'll chant a very short prayer, a Sanskrit prayer that says, may we be together, teachers and students. May we share our food together. May we work together. May that work, may that study be vigorous and fruitful. May we not antagonize one another. Peace, peace, peace. Om Sahana Bhavatu, Sahana Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahai, Tejasvinavaditamastu, Ma Vidvishavahai, Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And then perhaps right where you are on your mat, you can join me in one resounding Om. Exhaling the breath out and inhaling the chant. And then on your inhale, letting your eyes flutter open. Interlace your fingers and just make some figure eights to start. A few nice figure eights. And the other direction. And then bringing the hands in, palms facing away from you, and then pressing them away. Letting the shoulders roll around, curl around, shoulder blades curling around, and then bring them back, set them firmly in the sockets. Bring the tips of touching the fingers into the chest. And then open the arms wide for a moment. Goddess arms. Good. Nice and tall. And then begin to press the wall away. Really press the wall away, waking up your shoulders. See if you have your shoulders up and bring them down. Good, press into the wall, continue to press. And then bring the hands out in front of us, right in front, press away. Again, let the shoulders roll off to the side, shoulder blades rolling to the sides, and then bring them back firmly. Good. And then just sweeping the arms around, take the interlace of the fingers there. First begin to open the heart and the chest. Let the shoulder blades begin to kiss as you squeeze. Take a little gaze up and down, a little up and down. Just opening the neck. And then release the hands again. Bring them around, give a little hug. Kind of notice what arm is on top. We're going to go all the way back around the uncomfortable interlace this time, the one you didn't take at the beginning, and squeeze the knuckles down toward the floor. Just squeezing knuckles. Beautiful. And then a hug with the other arm on top. Just a little bit of a hug. You can massage your shoulders gently. Good. And then releasing and letting the arms rest. Good. So then lean back a little bit. Take our legs out in front of us for a moment. And just bring the knees up. Good. And then open the legs a little, soles of the feet together, sitting up nice and tall. Good. And then close the legs again. Just close them. Squeeze them toward each other. Relax the adductors, the muscles between the legs as you squeeze. And then take just your right leg and open it to the back for just a moment. Nothing more, just a little bit of working at the hip socket. And then bring the whole leg back, nice and tall, all spine. And then left leg back. I'm up on a pillow, you may be up on a pillow or a block. Grab a blanket, something underneath your sit bones. Good, and then bring it back. And then again, soles of the feet together. Just notice if it is a little different this time after you open the joint in the other direction. Good. And then let's take our feet out in front of us for a moment. Squeeze through. Press the toes back towards you. Toes reaching towards you. Toes are reaching towards you, sitting up nice and tall. Good. And then a little work with our toes for a minute. Just take your toes and point them. Good. And then bring the toes back with the point. So kind of like Barbie toes. You know how Barbie's always ready for high heels. Okay. Then release back to a neutral flex. And then point the toes again. Bring just the toes back towards you. Just the toes. Barbie toes. Good, and then a regular flex. Keep the heels on the floor firmly and press through the heels, but firmly on the floor, no hyperextension in the knees. Good, and then again, soles of the feet together, bring them back. See if working anywhere in your shins changed how that felt. Good, nice tall spine. Good. And then go ahead and take your fingers around your thumbs and just balance for a moment on your sit bones. Just a tiny bit of balance on your sit bones. You can open one leg a little and bring it back. And the other leg a little and bring it back. And then both legs a little, just a little. And then release the hands, just see if you can still balance on your sit bones. Place your hands down, put your legs firmly on the floor, and then again, squeeze the knees together, release the muscles in the groin and the inside of the legs. Good. And then we're gonna do a little twist that's gonna require, for some of us, a block. So if you have a block, you're going to take the block. I have my legs swished over to the right. And so you're going to take the block and put it underneath your left hip. And that lifts you completely. So you have your left leg in external rotation, and your right leg is in that internal rotation we just tried. Good. So nice and tall, and your right sit bone is hanging in space. Your left sit bone is supported. Good. And then lifting up and twisting over to the left. Exhale back 3 times. Inhale, lift, twist, hold the breath for just a second or two, and exhale back. Good. Keep the hips even. Inhale, lift and twist, and exhale. Return. Good. Breathing. And then just come up, move your block, switch your legs behind you over to the other side. Put your block underneath your right sit bone. A pillow, a blanket, anything you've got, a phone book, an old one. Good. So evening out the hips a little. Great. So external rotation on the right leg, internal rotation on the left leg, preparing our hips. Good. So as we inhale, begin the twist, resisting against the breath, and exhale, return. Inhale, a little pause at the top of the inhale, and exhale, return. One more, inhale, and exhale, return. Good. And then remove the block, take it out of the way, sitting in a comfortable seated pose again. And just check on your legs, see if they feel a little bit more comfortable now. Good. So we're going to do it one more time with a different focus. We're going to take now, the right leg stays in external rotation, the left leg comes in internal rotation, but we aren't on the hips evenly. We're just open. Good. And then I'm down on my right arm. I'm going to inhale and sweep up and open up. So I'm opening the left psoas muscle and just open, relax, breathe. And then slowly and gently take your bottom down to the floor, sitting up a little and swishing your legs over to the other side. External rotation, internal rotation. Both legs are different. Your sit bones may or may not touch. If you're leaning over, that's fine for this. As you're ready, sweep the arms and open up. Let your right shoulder open, everything open, right hip. And exhale, come down. Good, and one more time, trying the soles of the feet together, looking at our Vajrasana and just seeing if it feels any easier than it did at the beginning. Great, so let's come into table pose. Nice, solid table, making sure that our shoulders are solid and that our wrists are underneath the shoulder and our knees are underneath our hip. Good. So as we're ready to arch, curl, get really round, draw the chin into the chest, curl the tailbone, look back at your belly button, breathe. And then slowly as you come through, don't drop your shoulders, keep your shoulders strong, keep pushing into the floor, pushing into the floor, pushing into the floor. As you head in the other direction, curl your tailbone toward the back of the head, back of the head toward the tailbone, get round in the other direction. Breathe. Shoulders stayed stable. We never drop the shoulders down. And then come back into a neutral spot. Find neutral, where you have a little of your cervical curve, a little of your lumbar curve. Find that neutral spot. And then you're going to coordinate breath. Exhale, curl the toes under, get round, arch. Lay the toes out, inhale, and arch in the other direction. Exhale, belly to spine. Inhale. Keep the belly to the spine and both breathing into your chest. And then on your next exhale, release a little inhale, come back to neutral. And then let's do some barrel rolls, all righty? As we're ready, just rolling out to the sides and cleaning the inside of a barrel. One direction. And then the other. Rolling slowly. Don't forget the top of the barrel, the bottom of the barrel. Good, and then bringing yourself into neutral, really pressing the floor away. Really press, press, press. And then taking we're gonna do it like this. Your left leg back and your right arm forward. Left leg back, right arm forward. Good. And then as we exhale next, coming into the midline, and inhale, extend. 4 times. Exhale, inhale, extend. Exhale, inhale, extend. I lost count. And extend. Then release the hand, release the leg. Breathe. Now we're going with the other leg. So reaching back your right leg. Left arm extends. Good. So as you're here, notice that your back leg isn't hiking up or out. It's really even. All the toes are pointed toward the floor. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, compress. Inhale, expand. Exhale, compress. Inhale, expand. Exhale, compress. Inhale, expand. Exhale, compress. Inhale, expand. Breathe. Release the hand, release the leg. And from right here, another barrel roll. Nice and soft. Here, your shoulders are moving. Other direction. Good. And then nice and tall, press through. From here, we're going to press up into mountain pose, often known off of Mount Madonna as downward facing dog. But we're going to do our mountain pose from here. Coming back to my mat so I don't slide. Good. So nice firm arms. Reach them out a little bit. Mine are as broad as my mat. I'm going to curl the toes under and lift the legs off the mat a little. And then I'm going to press hips back to the wall behind me, trying to get a diagonal line from my middle finger to my sit bone on either side. You can pace the legs a little, walking the mountain. And then coming up onto your ball of the foot, ball of the feet really tall up on your tippy toes. And then begin to roll the heel toward the floor. Doesn't need to touch. Just rolling it in toward the floor. Breathing. We're going to hold for 1 minute. Feel free at any point to come down and rest, knees down, and then perhaps come back up for the last 5 or 10 seconds. Another 20 seconds to go. This is really good. It's a weight-bearing pose. And then slowly lean forward, come into plank for just a moment. Draw the belly into the spine. Wiggle your legs back as long as you need them to be. And then drop to one knee and then the other. Spread your knees apart. Keep your feet together and push your hips back towards your heels and relax. You can make a little pillow for your head with your hands. Whatever you can do to make yourself comfortable. Forehead may be on the floor. And then taking your gaze forward, pressing into your arms or hands or whatever you have making contact on you. We're going to be on our forearms for a moment. So bringing the knees back together. Good. So the knees are underneath the hips, the arms are underneath the shoulders, and our forearms are right in front. The wrist and the elbow creases are parallel, and our fingers are big and broad, supporting us. We're going to do our cat pose from here. I'm going to exhale, curl my toes under, bring my ears in between my shoulders as much as I can. And inhale, lay out the feet and look forward. 3 more. Exhale, curl the toes under, round. And inhale, gaze forward, lay the toes out, tops of the feet, press into the floor. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And inhale. Good. Bring yourself into a neutral spot for just a moment. Now you may need to walk your forearms out a bit. We're going to put a tiny bit of pressure at Shita, the top of our head. So curl and a little tiny bit of pressure. So just walk your arms out until you have your proper amount of pressure. Just walk it out and put a little bit of pressure between the crown of your head and your hairline. Breathe. Breathe into the back body. Breathe into the back ribs, low back ribs. And then begin to gaze forward. Walk your elbows back to support your shoulders. Completely back. Good. And then come up onto your hands and knees one more time. Great. And then walk your hands back and come up to kneeling. Good. So we're going to do a little bit of a lunge from here. Okay. So taking your right leg forward. Good. Just reach the arms up for a moment. Reach the arms up. And then think about showing your sternum to the ceiling. Just a little bit of a back bend. Good. And then bring the hands into the heart here for a moment. Lean forward a little bit. And then elbow to knee or elbow outside the knee. Elbow to knee is perfect. And just press as you try to lift and bring your hands into Namaskar at the chest, at the sternum. Press up and away. Don't collapse down. On our next inhale, we're going to come into neutral, hands at the heart. Good. And then just relax the arms down. Back to kneeling. Take a catch breath. And then left leg forward. Good. And again, arms coming up, take them up nice and soft and gentle. Lift the toe on your left foot and make sure that your leg is active. Good. And then as we show our sternum, add that little bit of a back bend. Sternum toward the ceiling. And then bringing the hands into the heart, Anjali. Lean forward a little bit. Don't take your knee forward. And then placing your right elbow at your knee. And then press up and away. Bringing the hands into Namaskar. at the sternum, gazing up and back. Breathing, smooth out the breath. And on our next inhale, coming back to neutral. Good. And then releasing back into kneeling. Good. So from here, a little vinyasa, a very small one. We're going to come up as if we were making snow angels. And then we're going to go down as if we were being turtles. Curling the chin into the chest. Again, the crown of the head to the floor. And then inhale up. Let's follow our breath. Exhale, curl, chin to chest, crown of the head toward the floor. And inhale, up. Exhale, curl, belly to spine. Inhale, keep the belly engaged, breathe in the chest. Exhale. And inhale. Hands to the heart, staying kneeling for just a moment. Relax your pelvic floor, your shoulders, your jaw, and relax your arms. Just let your bones have you for a few breaths. Soften. Surrender. Good. And then bringing the hands back into the heart. We're going to just move our knees and sit back on our toes for a minute. So just a nice little toe stretch right here, a little toe stretch. And then bring your hands down to the earth. Lift your knees off. Bring your hips up. And be in ragdoll for just a moment. Just let go. And then bringing the hands to the top of the thighs, curl your thumbs into that crease. Get your thumbs into that crease at the hip area. And then hold on to the rest of the hip and thigh. As you inhale, come about halfway up, find a long spine, lift up through the quads, and exhale the rest of the way up. Just notice the movement in that area. Good. And then let's get nice and broad. Just a little bit of our external rotation on either side. It serves as a purificatory process. So just including that here for a moment. We're going to externally rotate our left foot. That'll take our hips out a little bit more to the left. Bend the left knee. Right heel may need to kick out a tiny bit to keep you upright and not leaning forward. Lifting the arms. Gazing out over your middle finger. Draw your right arm back a little bit. And we're going to string the bow 3 times. So pick out an arrow, bring it all the way over, pull it back, and let it go. One more time. All the way over, pull it back, let go. I said 3, come one more. All the way over, come back, and let it go. Open the arms broad again. How broad can you be in your shoulder girdle? Straighten the legs, bring the arms up overhead, unrotate the left foot, and rotate the right leg. Opening the arms out to the side, bend the knee, stay upright, belly is totally engaged. Breath is in this part of the chest. Breathing. Good, and we're gonna string our arrow. Good. So draw it all the way, arc it over, pull it back, release. Draw it back, arc it over, pull it back, release. Pull back, arc over, pull back, and release. Open the arm up again, big and broad, looking out, upright spine. And then arms coming up overhead, gazing back to the center, unleashing both legs now front and center. Headed over for a moment into Chatuspada Kabandasana, four-legged ghost pose. Nice long spine. You might want to block here. Spine is long and extended. Breathe. And then let's surrender to the spine and let it curl over. If you have your block and you can rest your head anywhere on it, this little bit of pressure at Shira is really good for balancing ourselves. Notice your breath, smooth it out. Good, and then as you begin to look forward, if you have a block, just come back to it, all the way back up. Nice long spine first. Good, and then press back up, all the way up, nice and tall. And this time we'll externally rotate the right leg first. Good, upright body, no leaning. Bend the knee, still no leaning. Arms coming up, good. Take your gaze over and then lean back into Joan of Arc. Don't drop your way into your back arm. Leave your back arm free and gliding, moving. Come back into Warrior Two. Reach forward and then begin to straighten the leg and take this really open triangle. So there's no need to close down the bottom side. Keeping yourself nice and balanced. Back to Warrior Two. And then arms overhead, coming back, unrotating, and then rotating the left foot. Keeping the spine upright. Bend the knee, release the arms, shoulder height. Good, gazing out. Breathing. And then slowly begin to release the back arm, other arm reaching over, Joan of Arc, Dying Warrior. Don't lean into your back hand, let it be free, perhaps moving. Coming back into Warrior Two. Shoulders firmly down. Then reach forward, reach, 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 reach. Begin to straighten the leg. And be in this extended, long, broad, open triangle. Nothing closed down, sternum toward me. And let's reestablish Warrior Two. Good, and then straighten the knee, arms back up and overhead. Unrotate, so everything, toes, knees, all headed forward. Bring the hands back behind us, interlace the fingers there, squeeze the knuckles. Take your shoulders down toward your hips. And as you start to come over, continue to take the shoulders toward the hips, shoulders toward the hips. Now the shoulders are coming up toward the hips a little bit. Keep the shoulders moving up and then let the arms come to where they may. On your next inhale, coming about halfway up, squeeze into the hands. And then exhale, rest of the way up. Release the arms. Heel toe, heel toe, heel toe, heel toe. Good. Find Tadasana. Close your eyes. Take 5 or 6, 7 breaths. Smooth out the breath. You can relax your pelvic floor, your belly, your shoulders, your jaw. Letting go. And then on your next inhale, letting your eyes flutter open. Good. So re-engage, pelvic floor lifts, belly engages, muscles link onto the bones really firmly. We're going to go into a balance pose. Good. We're going to shift our weight over to the right side. Begin to peel up the left heel. Just peeling up the left heel. Good. So we're going to externally rotate our left leg. Wherever it is, just rotate. Good. And then ask yourself if your trunk and your body and everything stay this way. Let's do our Marilyn Monroe arms. Coming on up. Good. Breathing. And then you decide. You can get the heel closer above the ankle. You can press the sole of the foot into the calf. You can use an arm and bring your foot up. It just doesn't need to go against the knee. Ever, ever, ever. Keep your tree. Find a spot to gaze on. Not me, I may fall. And then exhale the hands to the heart. Inhale, draw the knee back, front and center, and then release. And just walk it out, nice and slow. Other side. Bringing the weight into the left leg. Peel up the right heel. Hips stay completely even. Externally rotate that foot and that leg from the hip socket. Good. And then you deciding how you want to put your leg wherever you want it. Let's take our arms up, Marilyn Monroe style. Lift up, take the weight out of your lower body and then place it, maybe different, anywhere except the knee. On the thigh, on the calf, on the ankle. Not really on the ankle, but above the ankle. Breathe. And then exhale the hands to the heart. Inhale, leg back, front and neutral, and then release the leg. And a nice gentle walking it out. Good. We're going to come down into a nice big squat. And if you'd like, you can have a block and put it underneath your body. You decide. I'm going to come a little closer for my squat. Good. Breathing. We are made to squat. Replacing all of our Apana Vayu, our downward flow, into its abode. We're going to twist from here because we have a nice stable pelvic basket. As you inhale, reach out to the right. Come back into neutral. And as you exhale, root down. Inhale out to the left. Exhale back to neutral. Take a little inhale. And exhale, root down. One more time. Opening up. Those of you who like to bind, take your thumbs up. Dive them down, way down. As much internal rotation as you can manage. Open your right shoulder. Otherwise, we're just in a big, broad, beautiful twist. Exhale, back into neutral. A little inhale. Exhale, ground. And inhale, open out to the left. Good. And then again, those of you who want to try to bind, you need that internal rotation. So keep rolling those thumbs and hands around. If you have anything to hold on to. Ardha Malasana, half rosary pose. And release, big, beautiful twist, and back into the center. Good. And then finding our way back to the floor. Extending the legs out in front. And then after all those rotations, let's just check on our nobility pose, Vajrasana, and see if it now feels a little bit more different than it did at the beginning of class. Tuck the left heel in again, and right leg back into internal rotation. So right leg internally rotated, left leg externally rotated. We're going to do the same thing we did at the beginning. We're going to do a nice big open psoas stretch. Does this feel easier, better, nicer? Check in with your body. And release to the ground. Just leaning back on your sit bones and swishing the legs to the other side. Good. Supporting yourself over with your right arm, just leaning over. And then sweep up and over. Open. Big, open left shoulder. And then letting it come down. Good. Both feet back into neutral. Just checking one last time with your Vajrasana. Does it feel more open? Does it feel healthier in the hip area? We hold a lot of fear and grief in our hips. So we're going to make our way down to the floor and into an inversion. An inversion is when we have mula, our very base body, above our throat. So bridge is a wonderful inversion. We're going to do either bridge or Viparita Karani Mudra. So lying down, watch first because it's not good for you to turn your neck to the screen. Your arteries don't want that. So just watch, put the block underneath your hips if you'd like. And then you can raise up and do a supported bridge, maybe lifting your hips, maybe not, maybe just resting, supporting the bridge in your shoulder area, or no shoulder involvement and lifting into Viparita Karani Mudra, topsy-turvy pose. So you decide, pick an inversion. We're here for 2 more minutes. If you're in Viparita Mudra, begin to drop your knees in towards your chest. And then placing either foot on the floor. And now we're in our bridge breath. Then lifting off the block. If you're there and you had the block underneath you in bridge pose, lifting off the block. Releasing your hips. Keep your lumbar curve. Just let your lumbar curve be there. Extend your legs way on out. And rest for a moment in Shavasana. Don't be trapped by your mat. Feel like you're a starfish. You can extend beyond, keeping the arms and the hands below the heart. Slowly and gently bringing your awareness back into the breath. Noticing the rise and the fall of your belly or your chest. Letting your eyes roll in the sockets in one direction, then the other. The tongue to roam the mouth, the back of the teeth, the roof of the mouth. Swishing along the front of the teeth. And then opening the mouth wide as if you were yawning. Wriggling the ears, the nose, movement into the fingers, swimming the toes. Bringing your senses back online. And then slowly begin to bend your knees, put your feet on the floor. Lift your hips up, swish them over to one side, and then roll over to the opposite side in embryo pose. All safe and secure and curled up in embryo pose. Slowly and gently, as you're ready, begin to press the floor away and spiral yourself up into a comfortable seat. Any seat. Being still for just a few moments, letting all of the asana integrate into body and mind in spirit. On an inhale, letting the eyes flutter open. Our pranayama practice this morning will be very simple. We're going to do an extended exhale with a nice inhale. The inhale, we're going to just draw it in as much as we can, and then exhale it out as slowly, gently, smoothly, softly as we can. This is called Virga Rechak. It means a slow exhalation. So focusing, because the exhale is what helps us to keep our stability, lets the body rest more. So we're going to focus on the exhale, okay? So exhaling the breath out to start. Inhale any way you can. Pause and then exhale slowly, softly, smoothly, gently, even it up. When you get to the bottom, as you're ready, grab another breath and slow it down even more. Perhaps count, inhaling and exhaling. Completing the round that you're on with your final exhale. And just relaxing for a moment into the breath. We're going to move into our meditation this morning. It will be on the 5 elements. We'll do a mudra. I'll tell you how to hold your hands. Come a little closer. So starting with our palms open in receiving. The first element is space, ether, Akash. Tip of the finger to the tip of the middle finger. Resting in space. Space inside your body and the organs. All of the orifices in the veins. The space of the universe. Space inside the trees and plants. Space everywhere. Air element, prana, vayu. We're going to take our index finger into the base of the thumb, wrap the thumb around the index finger, and rest our back of the hand. Air, movement. Movement within the blood through our veins, the digestive tract, outside the breeze in the trees, the breeze on the water, air element. Fire element. Taking the thumb to the knuckle of the ring finger, fire, Agni, energy, energy in the body, our metabolic, catabolic, anabolic energy, processing, mitochondria, energy, outside the sun, the power of the sun, the heat of Mother Earth, fire element. Water element, up. The tip of the finger, the thumb to the tip of the pinky finger. Thumb to pinky finger. Water, liquidity. Our body is mostly water. Blood, lymph, saliva. Outside of us, rain, and oceans and rivers and lakes. The fog rolling in. Water element, inside and out. Earth element, the thumb to the tip of the ring finger. Earth, Prithvi, solidity, our bones, our cartilage, our tendons, our teeth, all of the solid, stable parts of the body. Rocks and minerals and trees, all of the structures, the buildings, everything outside of Earth element. Letting go of the earth mudra and bringing your hands into Anjali at the heart. Finding your intention and repeating it to yourself again 3 times. And then ending our practice with one resounding Om. Exhaling the breath and inhaling to chant. Om. Hari Om Tat. Namaste. I'm coming to manage you and manage our room and get us where we can talk and share with each other. Okay, so I have a little bit of a learning curve because I've wanted to see all of you, which is the best part of it, is to see all of you in speaker view. That's what I was doing, and that's what is on the video, is speaker view. So it's really hard to see me. I'm one of the little squares, but you can hear my voice and you can follow along. Today, I learned to put myself on speaker view, so you actually see me rather than everybody, although I love seeing everybody, but I think it's easier to see what I'm doing if I'm big. So that will change as of today. I now also have learned how to stream it up to Facebook Live, and I don't think it'll go on Facebook Live. I think it's too long, but YouTube as well. So I will share that with you tomorrow. You can all email me if you want. My email is ginger@Casa San Juan, CASASANJUAN, casasanjuan.com.gt. So if you email me, I'll be sure, or Facebook, you can just Facebook me and private message me on Facebook and say that you'd like for me to send you the link. Once we find where the links are, I hope he's got them in one place and it'll be really easy to me. Okay. Thank you all so very much. I'm going to do these till the end of the month, and then maybe beyond, because we don't know what's going to happen yet. Here in Guatemala, we are trying to use Quédese en Casa, which is stay at home. We're trying our best, but I know that that's not working. A lot of people are in poverty and need to go to work, and so they're still trying their best to work wherever they can. For those of you who know, I have a restaurant and 66 full-time employees. We are closed, and that is weighing on me heavily every single day. But I'm trying to also just lift that up and let the universe provide, seeing how what my partner and I can do less and they can have more. So just trying to figure out the world, as is everyone right now. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. You're all very welcome. Does anybody have any question at all? Feel free to unmute yourself and ask the question so everyone can hear it. Yeah, it is a crazy world right now. Okay, let me see if I can lift that chat. If there are any particular questions. Yes, the email one more time. It's ginger, GINGER, @ Casa San Juan, the San Juan house. CASASANJUAN, casasanjuan.com.gt. If you don't put GT for Guatemala, it will not come, okay? ginger@casasanjuan.com.gt. Oh, I'm so glad that everybody could come in. It's really a blessing. It's a really blessing for me. The sort of good thing about this is I don't really know until it's all over, said and done, how many people were in class. That's really good. And now when I'm only seeing myself out there, then it's really humbling because you don't know if you're teaching to 1 or 100. It's a good exercise in humility. You're all so welcome. You're so very welcome. Any questions? I want to make sure you're taking care of yourself Ayurvedically, that you're having warm, nourishing food, that you're really watching your sleep patterns, that you're getting plenty of sleep. If you usually get 7, get 8. If you get 8, get 9. Whatever you can do to let yourself have that healing space.
And a lot of our healing happens in the evening, happens while we're asleep. Make sure that you don't have any food in your belly when you go to sleep. So if you're going to go to bed at 9, you need to have dinner at 6. And if that's earlier than usual, get used to it. Our digestive system really doesn't want anything in our stomach, in the organ itself, moving down into the system when we lay down. That's why a lot of people have acid reflux. They have a lot of problems with their intestines. They'll have everything that's ulcer-like. All of that happens when we go to bed with a lot of food in our tummy. Yeah. So classes are every day right now. This particular class is every day at this hour. I'm in Guatemala, so it's 8 to 9 here. And I'll do this class all month. I'm thinking of adding a class in Spanish, and but I will post that on my Facebook page as soon as I do. The other thing I'm going to post on my Facebook page is a really short video about integrating our vagal nerve and releasing our body from the stress first thing in the morning, so that we sort of understand that. And that's just going to be a really short, probably 2 or 3 minute little video, and I'll put it on my Facebook page. It's so nice to see these names of people. If you've got a baby that's sleeping, then you need to sleep when the baby's sleeping. There is no working around it. That's what happens when you have babies, right? So unlike the mom who's trying to do everything while the baby's asleep, you're going to have to just put the baby on you while you're doing your yoga practice. Your baby becomes your weight, and you sleep when the baby sleeps. You've got to do that, or you won't get enough sleep. Oh, why do we curl our toes? Because our ankles, especially here in Guatemala, where we have cobblestones and we have to work on our ankles being super strong, or lots of new people who live here get turned ankles constantly, twisted ankles. They have a lot of physical therapy around here because of ankle problems. So the curling under of your toes, there's not really much on your foot. So when you curl your toes, you're working your ankle. You're working all the tendons and ligaments that go into the ankle area. So every time you curl your toes under and then flatten them out, curl under and flatten them out, you're working on your stability of your shins and strength of your ankle. Let's see if there was another particular question. Yes, my class is the same ID every single time. Every single time. Yeah. So as I was saying, I want you to sleep a lot. I want you to eat well. I want you to take care of yourself. Use this way to talk to other people. Use this method. At least we can see each other. Someone said it felt very impersonal. I feel super connected to all of you. I think it's learning to live in that akash, in that area of space, so that we really trust that across these spatial time and space is just a concept. We can put our minds in the same place, and it makes me feel really connected to you. I truly do. I missed that question. What style of yoga do I teach? Well, probably a lot of my students would like to answer that question. Babaji taught us Ashtanga yoga, which is the 8 limbs of yoga. And then later that became Hatha yoga in many ways. A lot of the practices that we teach and do are from the Hatha yoga Pradipika. But all of the Hatha yoga practices fit in to the Ashtanga yoga system, which is, the whole thing is yama, which is restraining yourself so that you can be a good citizen in the world, yama, niyama, which are observances in way that you want to act with yourself and other people, making you also a good internal person. Asana, the practices of postures, looking for a comfortable seat. Pranayama, the breath practices. Pratyahara, beginning to withdraw the senses. dharana, dhyan, and samadhi. And these are meditative, concentrative states. So within those 8 limbs of yoga, I try to practice daily, all 8. I try to practice all 8, especially the yama and the niyama, which are the way that I want to walk in the world, to be not harming, to be honest, not to be greedy, to study myself, to be clean. All of these 10 ways are ways to really stay balanced in all that's going on right now, all 8 limbs. So Ashtanga yoga means 8 limbs. Anga means limbs. Asht means 8. 8 limbs of yoga. Yeah, how to de-bloat the tummy. Well, a lot of it will depend upon if you're eating cold food and raw food, stop. No cold food, no raw food, no leftovers. So start there and then tell me tomorrow if that was part of your problem. No cold, nothing out of the fridge, no leftovers unless they're less than 24 hours old, and nothing out of the freezer ever, okay? Yes, and stimulating a healthier gut too, just making your gut healthier. Be sure you're eating a protein, which can be rice and beans or any grain and any bean. Quinoa is not a grain. So be sure you don't think quinoa is a grain. It's a seed. So if you're having quinoa, it's hard to digest all by itself. So have rice with quinoa. Make a rice pilaf with half quinoa or a third quinoa to the rest of it rice, or any other grain that you might like to add. So making sure you have protein, you have vegetables, and you have greens, some kind of greens. It can be spinach or chard or kale, or here we have ragweed. We have all these really wild weeds we have down here in Guatemala. So some kind of green, lots of vegetables, and a good protein. It can be fish or meat or vegetarian. Ayurveda is not vegetarian. Yoga is. Yoga is. Okay. So you're very welcome. Everyone is very welcome. I'm so glad that I can do it. Oh, nice, Gabby. That's fabulous. Wonderful. Yes, we're planning on summer YTT. Good Lord willing and the creek don't rise. We're planning on our summer YTT, and we're planning on starting our advanced yoga teacher training, our YTT 300 in May. Good Lord willing and the creek don't rise, I will be there ready to teach. So we're about at our time, so I want to respect that from you. And I'm going to say, please keep yourself safe, away from harm, and be unharming to the person inside of you, your own true teacher. Namaste.